All right, we want to get to the pulse of Gen Z, a new survey out from Morning Consult giving us a look at the brands getting the most love from this coveted generation. Now, it's all about big tech, at least at the top of the list. Leading the way, YouTube, with 86% of Gen Zers liking the brand, followed by Google, Netflix, and Amazon. Food is a common theme, too, with M&Ms cracking the top 5, Kit Kat and Oreos landing in the top 10. Nike, we were just talking about that, coming in at number 12. Josh, I'm going to keep you on set here for this because you're a resident Gen Zer. What do you think of those brands? Does it make sense to you?
It makes sense to me,
you're a little
right?
at the older end of Gen Z, for full disclosure. But
yes, I am at the top end of Gen Z. But I think it makes sense to me, right? I mean, Google, YouTube. I know we were talking about this a little bit off air, Dave. Yeah. YouTube, I think my generation definitely uses a lot more for general content, right? We go home at night and we watch YouTube and watch YouTube shorts and videos on YouTube and kind of relate to YouTube in that way. And I don't think older generations are really using it that way. I think it's more of a little bit of a search. So I think that was one distinction that I found pretty interesting. I think everyone eats Oreos though, so that kind of made sense.
Boy, and Cheetos was also
Gen Z loves junk food. Yeah, Doritos, Kit Kat, Oreo, and Cheetos, and even Sprite makes the list. But yes, Josh hits on it, and it's really YouTube that's the generational gap. And I think the old folks like myself and older just don't use YouTube the way Gen Z does. And that's where content is moving to. And that's where the news ought to move to. And sports will eventually move to. But the big surprise to me on this Gen Z brand list was that TikTok was not as part of the top 15, but it was the number 1 in terms of the brand Gen Z favors compared with the general public. And that's an interesting one because, again, you're talking about anyone above Gen Z doesn't use TikTok a lot. I thought that would be in the top 3 or 4 of Gen Z, which tells you skews a little bit younger, Rochelle.
I mean, it's one of those things, because usually if you're on TikTok, it's for the quick take. But then if you want to watch something longer form, then it makes sense that you would then sort of translate that over to YouTube. I mean, I find myself, I do most of my streaming ends up being on YouTube just because of some of the companies that I follow. And a lot of them have, their podcasts that they also then repurpose for some of these longer forms on YouTube. And some of these other brands, though, when you look at the ones that were favored versus the general public, you have Discord, Snap, Instagram, and of course Cash App. When you think digital payments, it makes sense that you're going to see people just sort of, cash apping when you're like out having a meal and you don't want to have to worry about splitting the bill. It's ease and convenience. So yeah, snacks and streaming and clearly, sharing your cash a little bit seem to be the trends of the day for Gen Z.
Yeah, I learned about Discord today too, which was a lesson. Good stuff.